Good day, viewers. This video is specially prepared for those of us preparing for nursing school entrance exam. So in this video, I will be solving some couple of questions in mathematics that you might likely encounter in your exam. So we have about 8 questions here that we are going to solve. So I'm just going to show you some precise way of solving some of these questions instead of you going through the normal long process. I'll just try to, cut short, because when you are going for exam like this, you don't need to show your working. All they are interested is give them the correct answer. So let's start with question number 1. Let's start with question number 1 here. So the question says simplify 1 over 3 plus 1 over 5 plus 1 over 6. Alright, so now let's simplify this. 1 over 3 plus 1 over 5 plus 1 over 6. So now to simplify this, you need to find the LCM of the denominator. So you know the denominator are the down numbers. So we have 3, 5, and 6. So now, what's the fastest way of getting the LCM of 3 numbers like this? Remember, to get the LCM of 2 numbers, you can just figure the 2 numbers like the one that is bigger. So in these numbers like 3, 5, and 6, we can see that 3 is the biggest, or 6 is the biggest number, right? So now, what we are going to do is this. Now, this 3 and this 5 now, which of this number can go into 6? We know that 3 can go into 6. That's 2 times. So if 3 can go into 6, then we can do away with this 3. Can 5 go into 6? No. So what you simply do is that you multiply 5 times 6 to get the LCM. So 5 times 6 will give us 30. So let's say that 30 is the LCM. So now what do? We say 3 goes into 30. That's 10 times. 10 times this 1. That will give us 10. Then bring this plus down here. Now 5 goes into 30. 5 goes into 30, that's 6 times. Then we multiply that 6 by this 1. That will give us 6. Plus 6 goes into 30, that is 5 times. 5 times this 1, that will give us 5. So we can add up the numerator by saying 10 plus 6, that's 16. 16 plus 5, that will give us 21 all over 30. So is this your final answer? Yes, this is supposed to be your final answer, but we know that a number can cancel 21 and cancel 30. So what's the number? 3. 3 can cancel 21 7 times, cancel 30 10 times. So your answer will be 7 all over 10. So that is question number 1. Now question number 2. Question number 2 says, if half p plus 4 is equal to 20, find the value of p. Half p plus 4 is equal to 20. So let's say half p plus 4 is equal to 20. So what is the value of p? Now to get the value of p here, we need to subtract 4 from both sides. Subtract 4 from here, then subtract 4 from here. So plus 4 will cancel minus 4 here. So we have half p is equal to 20 minus 4. That will give us 16. Okay. Now half p means, half means to divide something by 2. So if we say half p means p divided by 2. So we can write this half of p as p all over 2 equal to what? 16. Now to get the value of this p, we can make this 16 all over 1 so that we can cross multiply. So p times 1, anything times 1 is that same thing. So p times 1 will give us p, which is equal to, now 16 times 2, that will give us 32. So p is equal to 32. That's question number 2. Now question number 3 says that simplify 3 whole number 1 over 4 plus 1 whole number 1 over 5 minus 2 whole number 13 all over 20. Okay, so question number 3 whole number 1 over 4 plus 1 whole number 1 over 5 minus 2 whole number 13 all over 20. So remember, like I said, you are going for exam. So I'm going to show you a method that might be simpler than converting these numbers to improper fraction and solving for it. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to pick the whole numbers. Like here, 3 is the whole number. So let me pick that 3, like 3 plus 1 is the whole number here. So let me pick the 1. Minus 2 is the whole number here. So I pick that 2. Okay, so let's deal with the whole number first. So 3 plus 1, that will give us 4. 4 minus 2, that will give us 2. So we drop that whole number and go over to find the fraction. The fraction here is 1 over 4 plus the fraction here is 1 over 5. So that will be plus 1 over 5. Then minus here, the fraction here is what? 13 over 20. So what do? As usual, you get to find the LCM. Now, what is the biggest number here? 20. Can 4 goes into 20? Yes. Can 5 goes into 20? Yes. So 20 will become the LCM. So I can say 20 all over 4 goes into 20. That's 5 times. 5 times this one, that will give me 5. Plus 5 goes into 20. That's 4 times. 4 times this one, that will give me 4. Minus 20 goes into itself 1 time. 1 times 13, that will give me 13. So here we can say 5 plus 4 is what? 5 plus 4 is 9, right? So 9 minus 13. 9 minus 13 is going to give us a negative answer, right? So that will be negative 4. Negative 4 all over 20. So 4 can cancel itself. So that will become negative 1 all over 4 goes into 20 5 times. So we got minus 1 all over 5 in the fraction. So now remember, we have the whole number here. So we can now say that our answer is going to be combine this whole number and this fraction. So let's say 2 whole number minus 1 all over 5. Now see what you are going to get. 2 times 5 or 5 times 2 is what? That's 10. 10 minus this one, that will give us 9 all over 5. That is your answer. Okay, so now let's look at the next question we have there. Question number 4. Question 4 says simplify 10 all over root 32. 10 all over root 32. 10 all over root 32. Now to simplify this, we are going to rationalize this sort here, this denominator. Now, to solve this, we are going to break the, you see this root 32 here. Watch what we are going to get, 10 all over. Now, what is the perfect square? Do you know perfect square? Perfect square are numbers that when you multiply a number by itself, you get a perfect square. Let me give you, for example, 2 times 2 is equal to 4. So we can call this 4 a perfect square. 3 times 3 is equal to 9. We can call this 9 a perfect square. 4 times 4 is equal to 16. We can call 16 a perfect square. So that is what perfect square is all about. So in this 32 here, we know that 16 is a perfect square. 16 can go into 32. That's 2 times. So I'm going to write this root 32 as root 16 times root 2. Okay, so that's going to give me 10 all over square root of 16 is what? 4. Now 2 is irrational number, so I will say 4 times this root 2, so that will give me 4 root 2. Now, is this your final answer? No, we need to clear this root at the denominator. So how do you do that? We are going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the denominator. So I'm going to multiply this 10 times what we have at the denominator, which is 4 root 2 all over. I will also multiply the denominator by itself, 4 root 2 times 4 root 2. Okay, so what are you going to get there? Now we are going to multiply 10 times 4, which is 40 root 2, then all over. Now watch what you are going to get here. 4 times 4. You know, these 4 are not inside square root, so multiply 4 times 4 is what? 16. Then times. Now root 2 times root 2. Root 2 times root 2 will give us 2. That's 2 times 2 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. So say 2 here, which is equal to 40 root 2 all over 16 times 2 will give us what? 32. So this is supposed to be our final answer, but there is a number that can cancel 40 and cancel 32. Okay, so let's take 2. Let's cancel it with 2. 2 cancel 40, that's 20 times. 2 cancel 32, that's 16 times. Then 2 can cancel 20 again, 10 times. 2 cancel 16, that's 8 times. 2 cancel 10, 5 times. 2 cancel 8, that's 4 times. So the answer will be 5 root 2 all over 4. Okay, so now that's the answer to question number 4. Okay, so question number 5 now. Let's see what we have in question number 5. Question 5 says that 4 boys can do a particular job in 2.5 hours. How long will it take 5 boys to do the job at the same rate? Now, to answer that question, you need to know how long it will take one boy to do the job. So if 4 boys can take 2.5, 4 boys, if 4 boys use 2.5 hours for a job, now one boy is going to combine the job of these 4 boys put together. So one boy is going to take 4 times 2.5 hours. Okay, so let's convert this 2 number 1 over 2. That will be 2 times 2 is 4. Then 4 plus 1, that will give us 5 all over 2. So 2 can cancel itself, cancel 4, 2 times 5 is equal to 10. So one boy is going to use 10 hours for the job. Now, if one boy uses 10 hours, then for us to calculate the rate at which 5 boys is going to do that same job, we are going to divide this 10 hours by 5. Therefore, 5 boys is going to be equal to 10 divided by 5, which is equal to 2 hours. So it will take 5 boys 2 hours to do the job, in which 4 boys uses 2.5 hours to do. Okay, so now let's go to question number 6. Question number 6 says that the fourth term of an AP is, now the fourth term of an AP, first of all, you have to know the nth term of an AP. The nth term of an AP is given as A plus, open bracket, n minus 1, close bracket, d. So with this, you can use this to find any number of terms that you are given. So the fourth term now, fourth term of an AP is going to be given as A plus, this n will now become 4 since the number of term is 4. So that will be 4 minus 1, which is 3. 3 times this d, that will give us 3d. So this is the fourth term. And in the question, they say is equal to 65. So the fourth term here is equal to 65. Then the seventh term is going to be given as A plus 7 minus 1 is what? 6. 6 times d, that will give us 6d. And the seventh term is equal to 80. Okay, so now the question says that what is the sum of its first term and common difference? So we need to find the first term. First term is this letter A, common difference is this letter D. So we need to get the value of A and D. So then we now add the answers together. So now let's find the value of A and D. So you can label this in equation 1, label this one equation 2. Okay, so now let's first of all get the value of D by saying equation 2 minus equation 1. Then A minus A, that will cancel itself. Then 6D minus 3D, that will give us 3D. Then here we can say equal to 80 minus 65. 80 minus 65 is going to give us 15. Then you divide both sides by 3 to get the value of D. 3 cancel itself. So D is equal to 3 goes into 15 5 times. So that's the value of D. Then we can use this D to get the value of A by plugging in the value of this D in equation 1. So the equation 1 was A plus 3D equal to 65. So we can say that A plus, D is 5. So that will be 3 times 5 equal to 65. So A plus 3 times 5 is what? 15, equal to 65. Then subtract 15 from both sides. Subtract 15 from here. So this 15 will cancel this 15. So we can now say that A is equal to, now 5 minus 5 is 0. 6 minus 1, that will give us 50. So the first term is 50, the common difference is 5. So the sum of the first term and the common difference is going to be A plus D. And we know that A is 50 plus D is what? 5, which is equal to 55. So that will be your answer. That will be your answer. So now let's look at the next question, which is question number 7. Question number 7 says solve the inequality for question number 7. Solve the inequality for Q. What do we have? 4Q is greater than 8 minus 20 all over 3. 4Q is greater than 8 minus 20 all over 3. Alright, so now this is going to be 4Q is greater than 8 minus 20 is what? 8 minus 20 is minus 12 all over 3. So that will give us 4Q is greater than, now 3 goes into minus 12, that will give us minus 4. So we divide both sides by 4 here. Divide both sides by 4. So 4 here cancel itself. Q is greater than, 4 goes into minus 4, that will be minus 1. So Q is greater than minus 1. Okay, so now the last question Question number 8. Question number 8 says that what is the probability that a man will not die on his birthday if 365 days equal a year? What's the probability that a man will not die on his birthday if 365 days equal a year? So to find the probability that the man will not die, we have to first of all find the probability that the man will die. Now, a person can die once. So the probability that the man will die is equal to, now he can die once out of the 365 days. So this is the probability that the man will die. Now, what will be the probability that the man will not die? The probability that an event will not happen is given as 1 minus the probability of the event happening. So if the probability that the man will die is 1 all over 365, then the probability that the man will not die is going to be 1 minus the probability that he will die. So that will be 1 minus 1 all over 365. So this will be equal to 365 times 1. That will give us 365 minus 1. That will be 364 all over 365. So this is the probability that the man will not die. Okay? So if you are new to the channel, you can do well to subscribe so that you can get notification of new videos that I will be posting soon. Thank you very much for watching.